a winner.
You want a war? You're going to get one.
What was that? He had no time for one more play.
He had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us. The brother screwed us.
I'm upset, but
the brother screwed us.
At least they fought back and tried.
Only Cowboys game.
You literally.
The brother screwed us. The brother screwed us. We had one man opportunity for one more play.
Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, Kick Dig back here, and what a world we live in. What a world where the Eagles can't go a week without some sort of bogus bullcrap type controversy. It's ridiculous. And today, I wanted to jump on here for a little bit and talk to you guys about just what's going on, hear your guys' opinion, maybe we vent a little bit. What is happening, everybody? Thank you for being here. Donnie, what's going on? Michael, Ryan, Master Eagle, El Yepa, Eagles 1278, Little Griffith, Ryan. Thank you guys so much for being here. I see Richie is here, KGK is here, Shan is here, Don is here, Paul Wilson, Forte, SC Birds. Thank you guys so much. JH, Big Sarge, Forte, and anybody that I missed, I apologize. But as you guys know, it seems like the A.J. Brown stuff cooled down, right? It just started to lose steam. It looks like A.J.'s going to be here for a while. Jeffrey Lurie comes out at the owners' meeting, does a press conference, glowing endorsement of one Jalen Hurts. He loves him. He loves him. Doesn't really mention Nick Sirianni, but that's a whole other story. And then we get the article the next day talking about Jalen Hurts basically being a guy that isn't easy to work with. And to me, you know, I try to really look at it rational. I try to say, all right, there's got to be some truth to some of what is saying. Jalen Hurts isn't perfect. Jalen Hurts, all quarterbacks have flaws. There's got to be something, that we have to accept that, yeah, he's got things he's got to work on and stuff like that. But then where the article goes is just absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion. You're talking about a guy that refuses, he doesn't want to run motion, he doesn't want to do this, he doesn't want to do that. And it's like, but you just hired an offensive coordinator that specializes in all those things. So how hard can Jalen Hurts be to work with if you're bringing in a guy that's going to do the things that you say he doesn't want to do? And now I see people calling him, four verts Hurts, because they're saying Jalen called 4 verticals on that last play. But where was the coach? Where was the offensive coordinator? They asked for his opinion. I'm not going to go through the whole article again and read it because there's a lot there. But I think, I'm not blaming the writers of it because I don't think it was the writers. What I think this is I think it's the source. I think there's a source that had an axe to grind. Who do I think the source was? I'm going to tell you straight up. My opinion is it's Kevin Patullo. That was Kevin Patullo because from what we've seen of Kevin Patullo, it's always somebody else's fault. Now, with that said, I'm going to turn it over to you guys because I'd much rather hear you talk than me. Nick, thank you so much for the super chat, my man. Appreciate you so much. WIP said Laurie meant Jalen Carter, not Hurts. What the F, on how much he loves him and stuff? Yeah, I don't believe that. Boy, they love it, don't they? They sure love this controversy. It's absolutely ridiculous. No doubt about it. They're trying to sabotage our team. It sure feels like it, right? It feels like any time the Eagles get a moment of peace, it's just all-out assault on this team. From trying to take our rosters, trying to ban certain plays, right? They don't want to ban the tush push now, and then, constant controversy. I mean, I'm trying to think, like, rationally about it. Like, yeah, of course, Jalen Hurts, he's got his limitations. He's got things he's got to be better at. Nobody's saying he doesn't. But how do you go from one coach saying, this is the kind of player you want, this is the leader you want, this is the guy that it's easy to work with, a coach's son, and then you go to the opposite extreme? It just doesn't make sense to me. Garrett says, this is what happened to McNabb, Wentz, now Hurts. It's a bunch of BS made up clown. It did. It really has. I remember the McNabb one. He's unapproachable. I remember, you're right. Michael says, hey, Philly, I really think that because they have nothing to say about us anymore, so now all these people inside us are taking cash to speak. He has to just block everything out. Kevin Pissan. Well, the thing with Jalen is, and that's the other thing, is Jalen Hurts doesn't speak out against people. He doesn't put out information attacking anybody. So he becomes an easy target because everybody knows he's just going to ignore it and move on. It's just crazy to me. I think there's a big mistake though in this, because Jalen Hurts performs his best when this kind of stuff happens, and I think he's going to tear the league up. Nick, thank you for Super Chat. Never seen an attack on a team so hard by the media. I agree. And I mean, look, yes, there's quarterbacks that go out there and they throw 40 touchdowns and they have these great years, and then it amounts to nothing at the end of the day. I much rather have a quarterback who has certain flaws that wins than a quarterback that doesn't. I think the big mistake a lot of people make is they look at the Eagles when they won the Super Bowl and they go, well, you could have put any quarterback on that roster and they're going to win. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all, because he went to 2 Super Bowls, and I don't see some of these quarterbacks going to even 1. And Nick, thank you so much for that Super Chat, by the way, man. We got 315 people in here, only 92 likes. Let's get them likes up, guys. We need at least over 100. George says, Jalen Hurts is a very good quarterback, outstanding player, the best quarterback they have ever had. He could run any style offense. He had different coordinators every damn year. Great guy. I mean, yeah, new coordinator every year. People say, well, they tried to install the Kellen. I love this. Well, they tried to install the Kellen Moore offense, but after 4 games, they said it didn't work and they gave up on it. How do you give up on something after four games? I think Jalen Hurts is going to go out there, and I think he's going to tear this league up this year. It's just crazy to me, and it doesn't make any sense. That's the other thing. Like, does it make sense that you say the guy doesn't like to do motion, he doesn't like to be under center, he doesn't care for the play action, yet you hire a coach that only does, that's what he does? Well, Eagles are the best team in the NFL. F the Seahawks, we got the Wooly Bully. Yeah, I think the Seahawks and the Eagles are very similar teams, They don't have nothing to talk about. Don't listen to BS. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to avoid, though. Let's be honest. It's everywhere. If I came in here and I was talking about the draft right now, the questions in the chat's going to be about this whole situation. So it's better to do a little stream, get it all out, and then move on. Derek says, I think Jalen should speak up and start defending himself. This hate is starting to get ridiculous. It really is. And I don't get it. I don't get the hate at all. I think this is about people's prides. I think there are people out there now, they think that they have the answers to everything, and they're always right. And look at me, I'm smarter than this guy, and this guy, I'm smarter than that guy. It's like, dude, everybody's going to be wrong about their evaluations about certain guys sometimes. It's going to happen. But these guys, they make statements about Hurts, then then they just keep rooting for him to fail so that they can say, "Oh, look, I was right," but you weren't right because he already won a Super Bowl. It's because we're a passionate fan base. They need views and clicks. Yeah, I hear you. Well, good, Bees. Isn't it weird the same thing happened to every Eagle quarterback? It is weird. It definitely is. I really think the league does not like when the Eagles are good. And they as soon as the Eagles get good, as soon as they got good coaches, they try to break us apart. Look at all the players we lost. Look how come every time we get a coach, an offensive coordinator, we go to Super Bowl, we lose our offensive coordinator. Like every time. Now, I know that happens to a lot of teams. They lose coordinators, but not at the rate at which the Eagles do. It's crazy. Philly 500, what's up? Hurts is thick-skinned. I'm not too worried about him. I do think if Hurts and AJ are close, AJ needs to speak up about him at this point. At least defending Hurts, trade or not. Yeah, it would be nice, But I think most people want to avoid the whole thing. When you say, well, a source said this, and I'm not, the guys that wrote the article, I believe they're just doing what they have to do. But the question is who's the source? Now, they're not going to give it to us, but to me, I think it was Kevin Patullo. It was somebody that was, I'm assuming, because of the beginning of the article where they're talking about them calling that last play against the Niners, I think it was somebody that was on the field right there. I think it was Patullo. I don't believe it was Stoutland. I know Sills brought up Stoutland because of the way things ended, but I don't think Stoutland would do that to Jalen. I don't. Patullo, every week it was like, well, we did call the right plays, but we got to execute. Well, we did do this, but we got to execute. I could see it being him. What up, Prime? What's going on? Bill Belichick said we don't have anybody that can simulate Dak. No Purdy, no Hurts. Yes. I don't know what that means. What do you mean? Bill Belichick said we don't have anybody that can simulate Dak. Well, I don't understand. It's War David Super Chat. So McManus had that article ready to go the next morning after the ownership meeting, but he never asked Howie, Lawyer, and Nick about it. Feels fishy. Yeah, that's true too. Like if you knew the articles coming out, you knew Jeffrey was having a press conference. Why didn't you ask a question about Jalen Hurts? I mean, there was a question about Hurts. Lori talked about how much he loved him. I thought the other telling thing in that press conference was Lori started talking about all the good coaches that they had. Did you notice the one guy he didn't even bring his name up? Nick Sirianni. He's like, well, we had Andy Reid and Gruden, and we had all these coaches come in, and we've done a good job getting young coaches. He didn't mention Nick Sirianni. This is your daily reminder that Jake Elliott has more Super Bowl rings than Dak Prescott. This is true. Chris versus the world. What's up, buddy? We don't need Hurts to play an offense that isn't designed around what he is good at. We don't need him to be Purdy. No, I agree. And look, I think the offense they're putting in, I actually think it's going to benefit Jalen Hurts. And if he does feel uncomfortable under center and stuff, like of course Jalen Hurts has his things he's got to work on. Nobody's saying that. I'm not saying he was perfect in every situation, but the visceral hate and you notice how it's like, well, he changes the plays a lot. The insinuation is that every bad play that happens is because he changed the play. But we know in the Rams game and we know in the Broncos game that he changed plays that led to touchdowns. But people don't talk about that. Brian says the most disrespected quarterback is Jalen Hurts. That know how to win in big games is a joke by people because he's a winner. He knows what people criticize him too. Yeah, he knows what's going on. And that's why I think the league's in trouble. Because these are the kind of things that he feeds off of. SS, thank you for Super Chat. Philly Hurts is thick skin. I'm not worried about him. I do think Hurts and AJ are cool. I think I read that one earlier. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Carlos, what's going on? He says 500. The media couldn't talk about the AJ trade anymore, so the only thing they had was to go back to Jalen's BS. I pray he's at his best. He has his best season. I agree, man. I agree with you. That's what it really feels like. Yo, Philly, what's going on? Eagle first. Yeah, somebody's in the reflection. Welcome by. 500. Jalen not going to say anything. He's good at making people eat their words. That's what I'm waiting for, man. That's what I'm really excited about. Like, I'm like, oh, he's going to tear these people up this year. And this year's going to be interesting. No question about it. I'm already doing future bets, and I got the perfect new place to do it. Check this out. Let me first start off by saying thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring this video. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports picks app. The app is really easy to use. Just pick more or less on a few players, and you could build the ultimate lineup. It is legal in states like California. Now, here's what I got for my lineup today, okay? I wanted to do a little bit of a future bet, so this is what I'm doing, and I love this. All right, so I took Devontae Smith because I think he has a big year. I took more than 5.5 touchdowns receiving this year. I think Devontae Smith going to have a monster year. Then I also took Zach Bond to have over 2.5 sacks. I think Zach Bond will have 4 or 5 this year. I think you're going to see him get to the quarterback more. I took the over. Also, I took the over with Kenneth Walker and 7.5 rushing touchdowns. The Kansas City Chiefs signed him. They are going to use him, no doubt about it. And so head over to Prize Picks and use code HMA. And when you do, they'll hook you up. Play $5. Get $50 instantly. That's right, $50 instantly. Just use promo code HMA. Shout out to Prize Picks, a new sponsor here. We're excited about it. One quick question for you guys. Maybe you guys know. What the hell happened with the Brandon Graham press conference? I'm still waiting for it. Did something happen with Brandon Graham? Was like he about to retire and then changed his mind? Is he what's going on with that? You know? No teams are going to come out on a podcast that trash their quarterback. No, and they shouldn't, you know? I swear, if the NFL disrespects my faith, I will be done. Oh, yeah, I hear you. Hurts missed the pass to Devontae Smith on the 2nd and goal. What play? Look, here's the thing, right? Every quarterback misses a throw here or there. It happens. Guys are not perfect. And Jalen has things that he has to work on. I do believe that. I do. However, I will say this. I find it so interesting that, like, if you go back to, like, the 90s and the early 2000s, all they talked about was winning. Well, Donovan McNabb had a great year, but it don't matter. Did he win a Super Bowl? Oh, this guy, yeah, Peyton Manning, yeah, he hasn't won a Super Bowl yet. He puts up all these big numbers. And people cared about winning. Now, it's like winning. If you win, it's like, okay, great, you won, but did you throw up these giant stats in the regular season? I'd much rather have a guy put up 25 touchdowns and then win Super Bowls. I'd much rather win Super Bowls. Yep, somebody's walking by. 500, why does it seem the national guys are always have an insight to working on the Eagles when local guys are close to situation? I think the Eagles like to leak things out nationally. I don't know why that is, but it always seems like they like to do that. Maybe they want to be the main story. I don't know, but it's true. They don't leak things out like locally as much as nationally. So I don't know if it's an NFL type thing because I haven't really paid attention enough to like other fan bases or other teams to know. But it's true. I think it might be an NFL thing, though. Do you think the contract negotiation tactic to lower Jalen's value since he's won some? No, I don't think that's what it's about. Like honestly, I think there's a coach, maybe a former coach, that they're blaming Jalen because they don't want to accept responsibility. I would love to know who the source is. I mean, that would be so huge. If they say that Kevin Patullo, I'd be like, oh, whatever, dude. But yeah, I don't know. The thing is like, yeah, Jalen Hurts, he might not throw 35, 40 touchdowns every year. Okay, but he also hasn't had to. And the prevent offense, I'm sorry, but Nick Sirianni's style of offense does not help Jalen Hurts at all. And the thing is like, they're like, he doesn't want to do this, he doesn't want to do that. All I read during the season was that Jalen Hurts wanted to use the short passing game more, wanted to use screens more, wanted to use play action more, and now he's against all those things? It's either one thing or another. Something does not smell right in this whole thing. It's like they got half-truths, and then they put in something a source said to sway everybody. I mean, the way people come up against this guy, it's like Cilio was like celebrating. See, I was right. It's like, dude, no. Rocky, thank you for super chat. He goes, what up, Philly? A report came out today that the Patriots are going to trade for AJ after June, and we're also looking at drafting the kicker from Houston. I saw the thing about the kicker from Houston. As far as the Patriots are going to trade for AJ after June, like, what, for a first-round pick? Are they going to give up a first-round pick? Because you got to give up a first-round pick, otherwise it's no-go. And then how can you take weapons away from Jalen Hurts when they sit there and they complain and they write these articles, then they want to take weapons away from the guy? That doesn't make sense to me. Jalen Hurts will be the highest-paid quarterback when his contract is extended, no matter what. Probably, yeah. What up, Dirty Sanchez? How are you? Bryce, what's going on? Jalen Hurts 2020. Jalen Hurts going to have a big year. I agree. Hey, 500, my Matt Corral jersey is clean, shining, hanging in the closet, baby. Ready to go. Exactly, Philly. The article completely contradicted what Jalen has said throughout the year. Jalen made it very seem like he was open to different stuff, like being more under center. Yeah, I mean, everything that we read was like, it was Nick that pushed, a lot of deep balls. It was like run or deep shots. And it was Hurts talking about quick, short passing game. He'd like to see more of it. That's what we heard. And yeah, I don't know. It's very hard for me to believe that Jalen Hurts doesn't like play action and doesn't want to do it. I don't buy it, dude. Who's your favorite receiver day 2, Philly? Have you seen anything? I haven't seen Stribling highlights. No. I like Concepcion in maybe day 2. I kind of like him. They got a couple guys going in first round that I just don't know. The kid from Arizona, Tyson, what's that kid's name again? God, keeps slipping my mind. But I really like him. He just can't stay healthy. But now I see mocks have him going in the first. They have a Lemon going in first. I think there's only one first round receiver I think that I feel comfortable with, and that's Tate. 500, it's ironic that Jeffrey Lurie comes out and says he loves Hurts, and the next day a hit piece comes out. Yeah, exactly. Now, I was on Cilio's show, and Mark was trying to make the argument that maybe he's right in some crazy world, but I don't think so. But he's trying to say that Jeffrey knew that Lurie knew the hit piece was coming out, and that basically the Eagles are setting up Hurts to fail on purpose. And that's why they're doing all these contradictory things, because they want to get rid of him. I don't believe that at all. The dude has been to 2 Super Bowls, and he won one. How many years, especially you older guys, how many years did we watch Jaws? You watched Randall. You watched McNabb. We had to go through the Detmers. We had Rodney Peete. We had all these guys. Nobody could win. Now you get a guy that goes to 2 Super Bowls, wins a ton, and we're bitching about it. It's not good enough because he didn't what? Throw 30 touchdowns? I just think it's insane. This isn't like the fact that we're even dealing with this is insane. I'll take Jalen Hurts over anybody, except for maybe Mahomes. I'll take Hurts over anybody if you're talking about fourth quarter, 2 minutes left, you got to go 80 yards, and you're down 4. I'll take Hurts over everybody but maybe Mahomes. I think that winning matters less today than it used to, but not to me. Straight Jacket's coming off. Love is going to hurt the league. I agree. I agree. The league would crash if Hurts wins MVP or second Super Bowl MVP. Look at Shane Steichen offense and how complex it was. We get that Hurts league would crash. Oh, I agree with you. I totally agree. And I don't think they did Hurts look, you had the year you won the Super Bowl, Barkley was having a historic year. You had to run him to the Super Bowl. I get it. But dude, they were 2-2 at one point, and people try to act like those 4 games, that was it. They gave up. That's all they gave for Jalen Hurts passing more. Jalen Hurts to me is a guy that needs to pass 20 to 30 times a game, no more than that. And I think he'll win a lot of games. Matter of fact, I always say this: Jalen Hurts plays playoff football year round. You watch playoff games, right? You watch how the numbers all come down once the playoffs start. Quarterbacks who throw 35, 40 times, usually in the playoffs, are losing. Okay? But in the regular season, they throw 40, 45 times, whatever. Playoffs, the numbers always come down. They become more like Jalen Hurts numbers. So I think Jalen Hurts plays playoff football from week 1 all the way across. Captain Delberto, thank you for the super chat, my man. Hurts for president in 2028, or whatever year, laughing my ass off. Go Birds. F Amazon and all these businesses forcing me to deliver 15 oversized packages. Oh, man, don't hurt your back. Don't hurt your back. Yeah, Jordan Tyson, I like him a lot. I really like that kid. I just don't think, you can risk taking him in the first round. I think he's too risky with his injuries. But, man, he sticks out to me more than anybody else. He pops off the page. If you told me in 2-3 years he's a star, it would not surprise me if he can stay healthy. Gatekeeper says, all of this over some, quote, source possibly eavesdropping on a conversation. Who knows what they may or may have not have heard. Yeah, and how were they that close to hear? So if they all heard the last play call, it has to be one of those people. I mean, I think it was Kevin Patullo. Because Patullo, remember, how long have they been working on this piece? How long have they been working on it? Was he still a member of the Eagles? Because remember, when they replaced the offensive coordinator, he stayed. He stayed on with the Eagles for a while. He just wasn't flat out fired. Who are the players that are? We don't know. We don't know. There's always room for improvement. That's all I want from him. Yeah, look, Jalen has his flaws. He does things that he's got to get better at. When he flushes to a lot of times when he goes to the right play, he thinks it breaks down. He flushes out right, plays over. It drives me nuts. Sometimes he bails on the pocket when all he has to do is step up, and to me I think that's coaching too, though. Like they need to drive that home in him, and I don't know how much they have continued to try to develop Jalen over the last few years. Like almost like you had brought Kellen Moore in, they had 4 games. They said we're gonna become this run first team, and that was it. You gotta continue to develop him. He's gotta continue to work, That's what I think. Who benefits the most from the article? Kevin Patullo and the head coach seem like he's throwing Jalen. I know. I mean, like that's what I think too, man. It's what I think too. J-Side, thank you for the super chat, my man. I appreciate you. He says more consistency up front, play action, no turnovers, back to the Super Bowl. Agreed. I think Barkley has a monster year this year also. KSF, thank you for super chat. Sports media and the NFL are trying to screw us. The brothers are trying to screw us. I'm doubling down on Hurts, 4,100 plus passing yards, 500 plus rushing yards, 1 more Super Bowl in the books, and MVP for 2026. I love it, man. I think Hurts a great bet because these are when this stuff happens, this is where he responds the most. And the funny thing is, it was the very end of the article. After everything is said, they get to the end of the article and they say, Jalen is very open to the new offense and the new things they were doing. Yeah, he probably always was. I think the problem is that the coach that was the coordinator last year, I don't think Jalen respected him, dude. I don't. American Screeching Eagle, man, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Shout out to you, man. Thank you so much. Very generous of you. When do you think it's possible for Myles Garrett trade and Kevin Patullo offense was hard to watch? I hope this year will be better year for our Birds. I think it will be, man. I do. I think that the Browns want to trade him in the summer after June. See, I don't think they want 2026 picks. I think they want 2027 picks because of that deep draft and because they may need a quarterback. I think they're going to draft Tate as a receiver. I think they're going to go in, give Shedeur Sanders a chance, see what he is at quarterback. And if he doesn't work out or Watson don't work out, they're going to try to get the first pick in the draft. So I think from June on, I mean, any time on really, draft night could be a night, that's a possibility. But I think after June, if I had to guess, and thank you so much for that super chat. We got 488 people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for being with me today. Busy day today, but I wanted to jump on. Tomorrow we'll also be doing a stream. It'll be much earlier, as well as probably a video out. Things are going to get picked up. We're going to be starting to do a lot of 2 videos a day where we got talk the veterans and free agency, and then we're going to do ones on the draft. So a lot going on. Rocky, thank you for the super chat. Hurts is going to be motivated like crazy this season. Agreed. I mean, did you remember, what was it, last week? They do the flag football. He throws an interception, pick 6. Did you see, did you see the amount of hate, visceral hate, when he threw an interception in flag football? But anybody else does it, no big deal. It's like, dude, I can't believe that they hate this guy that much. Dirty Sanchez, I do have one question. What kind of dork gives himself the name Lord? This dude's you're not talking to me. The O-line has failed the offense last season. Hopefully they play better next season. They did. They have failed the offense. And it feels good, though, to be honest with you, to hear Cam Jurgens say he's feeling a lot better. I think Dickerson's feeling a lot better. That line's they're going to be ready to go. Yeah, draft is getting closer. Dawson was running pure cardio since he's been there. Yeah, they didn't want to use a third wide receiver. And see, I don't think that's on Hurts. I don't blame Hurts for that. I honestly think they said, they get up 10 points by halftime or something like that. They just said, well, don't turn the ball over the rest of the game. We'll be fine. Don't force the ball in any tight windows. Just throw it away. I think that's what they were telling him to do. I would love to know who the source is. I feel like not knowing who the source is makes it very hard to believe, to put a lot of stock into it. This whole situation is making me think about the image of Jalen nodding his head at the TV when the ESPN analyst picked the Chiefs to win Super Bowl 59. Hurts MVP year about to happen. I agree. I think Hurts is going to go off this year. He knows what they're saying, and he's got to be sitting home going, what the hell? It's Kevin Patullo. Remember when he threw the ball way more with Tanner versus Commanders? They tried to prove a point and it failed. Yep. Yeah, that's what I think it's for. I think it was Patullo also, man. That's what I think. Wayne, what's going on? Yo, 500 Hurts Hall of Fame speech is going to ruffle feathers. Oh my God, can you imagine? Every team that wins gets hate. You all forget how much hate Tom Brady and Pat's got. Even the Chiefs are hated. How come with winning? Yeah, with winning a lot. But those teams won multiple Super Bowls. People get sick of seeing them. The Eagles did go to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. Maybe that plays a part of it. But I've never seen a league go after them. Like, it feels like as soon as they have a successful coach, they try to get rid of the coaches. As soon as you have a play that works, like the tush push. The tush push is a perfect example. Dude, they wanted to get rid of that play because it worked for the Eagles. As soon as it didn't work as well for the Eagles, they don't care anymore. And they don't even try to do anything. Buffalo ran it better than us. They didn't try to ban it. Buffalo was a team that voted against it. And they ran it better than us last year. To me, you only do that because you're trying to attack or go after one team specifically. Flag football level. Yeah, it was the flag football thing. And he threw a pick 6. Like, it's a big deal. And it's like the whole Twitter went off. All of X was going off laughing, and all the haters came out. It's like, are we kidding right now? There was 2 people talking with Jalen. Yeah, and the article doesn't even say that he made the call. They asked his advice. All right, he gave it. Now, why doesn't the article say the coach came in and said, nah, that's not a good play, we're not running that? Or the offensive coordinator. Why did they just do what he wanted? And now they're making fun of him for that. I think it's all something is so fishy about this thing. Like, of course, Jalen Hurts has he has his issues he's got to work on. He's got his weaknesses. Nobody denies that. Nobody. But yeah, this is uncoachable when he's literally the son of a coach. Literally, everybody talks about what a great leader he is and how easy he is to work with. And now all of a sudden he's uncoachable. See, I think what happens is he didn't respect the coordinator. And he knew the coordinator was an idiot. Okay? And if you look at Jalen Hurts' face in that game, if I remember correctly, and I got to go back and watch, but I remember correctly when they called the play and he was coming into the huddle, he looked like he was shaking his head like, I got to go back and watch that because I don't think he respected the coordinator. And I think the coordinator took exception to it, and I think he's going to end up, if it ever comes out, Kevin Patullo is going to be the source. Dirty Sanchez, thank you for the super chat. No, Phil, I'm not talking to you. I got respect for you and I enjoy your content. I wouldn't disrespect. No, you're all good, man. You're all good. Thank you. I don't know who you were talking to or what's going on. So I just tried to stay out of other people's business. But you're all good. I think it was Sirianni that did it. And for the flag football, Hurts was just learning from Brady. Hurts is turning a new corner. I can feel it. Yeah, I think Jalen's going to go off this year. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the new offense because I've always felt that that the handcuffs have been on Jalen, and they really put him in a box, and it's not fair. I expect him to throw more interceptions next year, perhaps more fumbles, but I expect his other numbers to go too. The Eagles lost coaching and players, plus the offensive lines break down. The Eagles will have a bad season, and that's my gut feeling. Well, I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong. They did lose coaching, although the offensive coordinator, like I almost feel like you can't get any worse than that. As far as the offensive line, the offensive line is going to remain key to what they do. Cover 4 Palm says when they were arguing who's more criticized between Hurts and Dak, Sills was bloating about how Dak never had an article like this come out the whole time, not realizing he just gave you an example of who's criticizing him. I know, that's what I was saying. That's why I kept telling him. I kept trying to say, I know he hasn't. Yes, exactly. That's my point. But he wasn't hearing it. Man, of course Dak hasn't had like they make excuses for him. Like he hasn't even been held responsible for a playoff loss yet. But yeah, he totally walked into it and didn't realize it. And I tried to tell him, and he didn't understand, or he didn't get it. 500. I think the quote source were Jacob Media themselves. I think they were manufactured. No, I don't think that. But like that beginning of the article where they're in the huddle and Jalen is asked a question and Sirianni has a blank look on his face, like Jalen just called a really dumb play, but I'm not going to say anything about it. I don't believe it for an instant. I want to go back and I want to look at that play again, and I want to look at how Jalen looks like in the huddle or when the play's called. I could have sworn on that last play when we watched it, it looked like he was not happy with the call. AJ Smitty, Hollywood got her open for business. I love it. What up, Kevin? How are you, my man? Kevin and Heather from Lincoln, Nebraska here. We see and saw the jealousy of Hurts. Hurts to be good, second rounder. It came out on April Fool's Day because we're crushing down. Yeah, it did. It's crazy. As soon as that owner talked about how much he loved Jalen Hurts and did not mention Nick Sirianni, it comes out. And those guys, how long were they working on that article? That's the other thing. Why did they put it out then? Best Eagles quarterback in team history, and all the media does is hate him. All he does. He's the most winning quarterback in my lifetime for the Eagles. I mean, how many quarterbacks go to 2 Super Bowls? Not many. I love when people are like, well, he went to the Super Bowl because he had Saquon Barkley. No, Barkley got them over, and they won in the Super Bowl. But he was already taking them to the Super Bowl without Barkley. It was Reggie White. Nah, Reggie would never have done that. It might be Patullo. He did behind the scenes say they don't understand, and now we get leaked sources of issue with Hurts. Yeah, and he was still technically a member a while after they replaced the coordinator. He still was technically on the roster. Remember, they weren't sure what they were going to do with him. Christopher Michael Davis Super Chat. 4 Verts Hurts. Yeah, 4 Verts Hurts is what they're calling him. And yet, nothing about the coach, nothing about, the whatchamacallit. It's kind of crazy to me. Let's see here. Let's see. Let me make sure my computer's acting up. I got all this storage. All this storage is full. I gotta switch it over. Okay, we're cool. It's crazy. Yeah, it's nuts. Let's see here. All right. There we go. 500, why you and everyone else talking about what happened 2 or 3 years ago? Hurts was straight trash last year. No need to glaze. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Straight trash last year? I don't know. I mean, the whole offense wasn't good. I think that you can't have an article, Redstone, like that, and then not take into the account a guy's whole career. I don't think you can. You're not talking about a guy who's just a rookie. You're talking about a guy who they're saying is uncoachable, and they're complaining about when he wins, when he's done more than anybody else in that franchise history. I think you can't talk about that article without putting in context the career of Jalen Hurts. Hurts was in an MVP conversation at the bye. It had 15 tuds and 1 pick. Agree. Way too many Hurts haters. At the end of the 23 season, he reached out to the defensive coordinators throughout the league for guidance and to get advice on what they were seeing. Doesn't sound like someone that's willing to not be coached. I know. It's so true. It don't make any sense. What happened, 500? I see your Dingbat Nation link. Nothing. We're talking about that crazy article. You know what I mean? Yesterday. Yeah, well, Wentz was uncoachable too, but Wentz kind of like, there were more reports from like not just like coaches or unnamed sources. A lot of things came from actual players. We heard things from players, and Carson went and remember Carson requested a trade. The Eagles didn't give up on him. They paid him. He's the one that requested the trade. So a little bit different, What up, William? How are you? Why are they asking the quarterback about play stuff, calling plays executes? Yeah, exactly. Right? I mean, I'm sure they said, all right, what do you think, and Jalen? What do you feel comfortable with? He said, 4 verticals, supposedly, right? And they said, okay. That, I'm sorry, that falls on the coach and the offensive coordinator. It's their job to call the right plays and put the guys in the right position to win. So why did the coach see? That's a failure of coaching. I think the thing that people don't see in this thing is that really the article, it shows the coach is not being competent. In my opinion, it really reflects the coaching staff more than anything that it does Hurts, in my opinion. Q-Tip, thank you for the super chat, my man. He goes, yo, Philly, I'm convinced the Eagles have a mole somewhere in their organization trying to ruin the Birds. They got to find out sooner than later. I know. It feels like it, don't it? It's crazy. And thank you for that super chat. Angel says, this is all more media propaganda for the draft, something to gossip about. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I have a feeling they probably were working on this story for a while. But they waited to put it out. Dan called me a Jalen because I said he had a good year last year, and I think Jalen had a B year last year. Yeah, well, it was a coaching staff that had the F last year. Yeah, well, they've called me Jalen. They've also said I'm Jordan Davis's public relations person. Now, I think it's days to make ship, and trust me, I know people. You think Cilio started all this? I don't know. They see we might be keeping AJ one more year, and they're mad. So now it's shifting attack Hurts. It's about destroying our team. The NFL hates when we are Super Bowl contenders being fair. I agree. I totally agree. That's the only conclusion that I can come up with. And to me, what tips it off is the tush push. The fact that they don't even care about it anymore because the Eagles aren't doing it. To me, it shows you exactly that. I agree. When the people need a lame-ass slogan to diminish Super Bowl MVP that makes playoffs every year with a new offensive coordinator every year and supposed to crap good. I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. It really is. It's funny, right? Jalen didn't like, you could tell he didn't like Patullo. and look how Patullo ended up. They said that his relationship with Kellen Moore was tense, right? But he respected him at the end of the day. They said, oh, it was tense and stuff, yet the Eagles ran motion the 11th most in the league. So they say that Jalen Hurts is uncoachable. He doesn't want to do certain things, and you can't get him to do it. He'll call plays. He'll call out of it. Yet with Kellen Moore, he doesn't want to run motion, but they run it the 11th most in the league. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I think that Nick Sirianni and Patullo ignored the players last year. I think after that Rams game, when they were all speaking up saying we're killers, we got to go out and be attacking, we can't play this passive type football. And then they go out and they go up 24-6 on Tampa, and they go back into their prevent offense. I think it showed that the coach didn't want to listen to the players and didn't take their advice. And I think the players soured on them. Now, I think that's where all the A.J. Brown stuff started. KSF, thank you for the super chat. Sirianni is the culprit. I agree. Hurts is a quarterback that Sirianni inherited. All of the hires that Sirianni picked from within underperformed. With Hurts as quarterback, which ruins Sirianni's credibility as a head coach and play caller. Nick hates Hurts. I don't disagree with you on some level. On some level, I definitely kind of agree. Yeah, I think Nick is a bigger problem than some people realize. William, thank you for super chat. The man just won you all Super Bowl 13 months ago. Don't give me this Barkley crap. Hurts could have threw 5 picks in the bowl, but he didn't, did he? He could have folded, but he didn't. Ungrateful ass fans. No, you're right. Like I say all the time, the best 2 games of Hurts' career were the Super Bowl. He not only won the MVP in the one he won, he could have won the MVP in a loss. He was absolutely fantastic. And yeah, Barkley had a great year. They got to the Super Bowl largely because of what they did on offense with that offensive line running the game. But in that Super Bowl, it was Jalen Hurts. The big pressure moments, it was Jalen Hurts. The dagger, it was Jalen Hurts. And he's been to 2 Super Bowls, played fantastic in them. And we're acting like, what? He doesn't throw enough touchdown passes during the regular season? Do you really care? I don't care if he throws 30 touchdowns or 21 touchdowns. Just keep winning Super Bowls. They do this shit for views 500. Bash Hurts. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yo, 5, what are our chances of being 3-time NFC champions, and what's the record? Well, I'll give you the record once we get the schedule and see the draft. But no, we're going to win the division again. Like I said, like everybody makes do you see how they're glazing? Talk about glazed donuts. What about the glazing of the Cowboys? Like they've done some things in the offseason. Sure, they got slightly better, but they didn't move the needle. They needed a whole new defense. They haven't done it. And yesterday, like Cilio's like, well, they got Rashawn Gary. Okay, but they just lost Clowney, who had 8 sacks. They only replaced Clowney. They haven't gotten better. So yeah, we're gonna win it again. Drummer Jones, my man, thank you for super chat. The thing that gets me is they say he doesn't want to play under center, but Hurts said multiple times last year, we need to play more under center. Yeah, he said we need to play under center more. We need to use more play action. We got to get the running backs involved in the screen game, and we need to use the short passing game more. He has said it. They have said he said it, and now all of a sudden he doesn't want to do it. I don't believe it. And he doesn't want to do it. He can't do it, but they go out and they hire an offensive coordinator who's going to do all those things. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. This pisses me off. It just pisses me off. Not to mention when Sill says they don't criticize Dak for not playing well as quarterback, but he gets criticized for playing bad in the playoffs. More often than not, Dak did not play good as quarterback in the playoffs. He doesn't. And the Cowboy fans always go, they always, as soon as they lose in the playoffs, you start seeing the post, that's still my quarterback. That's still my quarterback. It's like, oh, you got to be kidding me, dude. It pisses me off too, Farmer. It does, dude. It's just so aggravating. The only way to to feel better about it is Jalen's got to go out and win. Like, go out and win next year. Oh, man, that'll be the best feeling. Jalen wants the offense he had with Steichen. The offense, it was great offense, great coaching. No doubt about it. Cowboys have gotten better. You guys, no, Cowboys gotten slightly better, but they haven't gotten for the amount of holes that they had, especially defensively. I don't think they've done enough. I don't think they moved the needle that much. Did they get better compared to what they were? Yeah, I think just getting Christian Parker will help them with that. But to really compete, no, I don't think they moved the needle as much as you think they did. I mean, they got Rashawn Gary. Okay, 8 sacks this year. They just let Clowney go. So you replaced Clowney sacks with Gary sacks. You need they need Max Crosby. Like if Cowboys got Max Crosby or if they got Myles Garrett, then I would say, yeah, they did something. But right now, I do not sweat Dallas. They got themselves a safety. All right, he's all right. Gary is, basically you're taking Gary with 8 sacks and you're replacing Clowney's 8 sacks. And that's about it. Your defense will be tough. You still got no corners. Your Bland is overrated. Oh, you ain't going to be top 5 defense. Okay. All right. We'll see. We'll see. The offense with Brian Johnson in 23 was top 10. Jalen threw the ball quite often. Now he had more turnovers, but he was balling a lot of that season. BG got scapegoated with the defense. Yeah, well, I think Brian Johnson did because I think the problem and I think the reason why a guy like Brian Johnson gets screwed is because Nick gets involved in the offense. And he tries to go in and mesh what he wants, which is a prevent offense. He wants to mesh it with the offensive coordinator. And it doesn't work. $500, let them. It's not fans. This is none of the players that are labeled experts. Everything he said, Hurts said in reverse. Coaching call plays since the fences, right? Dallas still has no tackles. They have so many holes. They got no tackles. They got no linebackers. Yeah, the Eagles lost some players. I agree. I think we've taken a couple steps back. Now, for Dallas and the Eagles, yeah, all season isn't over yet. However, the Eagles are far more complete than Dallas. I mean, the Eagles lost some depth pieces. They lost Dean. They got to replace Blankenship. Those are fair enough. But I will say this. I think their third wide receiver is much better. I think their offensive line is already much better, just getting healthy. And I also think that the Eagles getting Woolen are much better at that second cornerback spot. So the Eagles have far less to do to tweak. The Eagles just got to add a few pieces. Dallas needs a whole new defense. Did you see that WIP video where they're debating whether or not the Eagles should draft a quarterback? No. In the first round? What the hell's wrong with them, dude? We will win the down. All right. Hey, Marv, just don't forget me when December comes around. Just remember where I'm here. And come tell me when they lose. Don't hide when that don't happen. Dallas has no cap to spend. They have rookies to sign and Pickens because Pickens is going to hold out. I mean, they can't even get a deal done with Pickens, dude. It's crazy. Alumni says, Philly, I really dislike all these BS reports going around. Shaking my head. Every year it seems like media just hates us. They hate us. And it's like you can't breathe for a minute, right? You can't even enjoy that the owner comes out, tells you how much he likes the quarterback and stuff like that. It's like As soon as the A.J. Brown stuff died out, they have to go to bashing Hurts. It's crazy. All right, you win the division, I'll bring you on. How about that? Deal. Keep doubting Hurts and see what happens. Agreed. When the Christmas tree goes up, remember, I know. When that tree goes up, the Cowboys season goes down. They talk about they do. Done, Marvin. Hopefully Jurgens, Dickerson, Lane, and Carter will be fully healthy. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be key. It's going to be key, no doubt about it. Anyways, guys, I'm going to have to cut this short. I do got to go. I got to get some things done. I will be back for a longer stream tomorrow. We will definitely be doing that. But I want to thank everybody for joining me. Hopefully we can just move past this article now. We got it out. And hopefully we can get back to what matters, and that's building this team. But I want to thank everybody so much. 500. What the F, man? Every miss. What do you mean, Michael? I answered two of your messages. I know I answered. What do you mean, bud? This is the last year Hurts has guaranteed money for next year. I forgot. Yeah, they're saying that the Eagles aren't going to extend him this year. I never thought they were going to extend him this year. I thought they would be more interested in doing that next year. But, we'll see. What is Hurts like? Was he 30 or 40 against the cap? Like, it's not that much for a quarterback. I would wait a year, If they don't draft wide receiver the first 2 rounds, well, I would say in the first round. Like, that's my biggest fear, that they draft because of need and not because of like talent. I'm a cretin. Look it up. I don't know if you're talking about me, but Michael Meehan, I'm sorry, buddy. I apologize if you think I missed you on some stuff. It wasn't intentional, but I am going to get out of here. So I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. I will definitely talk to you all later. With that, let the Cowboys take us out. Peace.
Come on, guys.
2 minutes to go. You got plenty of time.
Come on.
Oh, shit! Dad! No!
It's over! It's over! This game is over! Cut it off, it's over!
Fuck.
Congratulations, Green Bay! Congratulations, Green Bay! Congratulations, Green Bay!
I said run the ball.
Congratulations, Green Bay! Dak Prescott, you need to be fired today! That was on you, Dak! That was on you, Dak! That was on you, Dak!
I said run the ball.
That was on Dak Prescott! Trying to feed the Lamb! You tried to feed the CeeDee Lamb! You got to give it to CeeDee Lamb! God! It's over! It's over, Dak! Put Trey Lance in the game. Trey Lance can't do worse than you.
I'm an idiot because I buy into this shit. Because here's the thing. I am a grown-ass man. And I talk the talk. It is killing me.
I feel it coming. I feel like it's going to take Jerry Jones taking. Cut it off. It's over.